The stars had always seemed silent, distant, untouchable. Humanity had looked up for centuries, wondering if anyone, or anything, was listening. Yet, on one quiet night, far above the Earth, the silence was broken. The Aurora Node, a deep space listening station, orbiting beyond the Moon, detected a strange signal, unlike anything before. It was not a signal made of numbers or letters, not a pattern that technology could decode. Instead, it pulsed in waves, flowing with a rhythm that seemed alive. Dr. Lena Harrow, the station's lead xenolinguist, stared at the readings in disbelief. It was as if the stars themselves were crying out. At first, no one wanted to believe it. Signals in space were usually routine communications from distant satellites, reflections of solar flares, or echoes of cosmic dust. But this was different. The resonance reacted to sounds recorded on Earth. Birdsong, whale calls, even the low hum of forests seemed to echo back in a subtle, almost intelligent way. Lena ran tests, sending various animal sounds into the station's receiver. And each time, the signal reacted, pulsing brighter, stronger, almost as if it recognized the source. Across the globe, subtle changes began to happen. Migrating birds altered their courses, and whales sang new melodies that scientists could not explain. Insects began moving in patterns that seemed coordinated over great distances. Even animals in cities, usually indifferent to humans, seemed restless, looking toward the sky as if listening. People noticed the changes but had no way to understand them. Rumors spread. Some said the Earth itself was calling for help. Others whispered that the animals were trying to warn humanity of some impending danger. The United Nations formed an emergency scientific committee to investigate. Lena was invited to join alongside biologists, physicists, and astronauts. They worked around the clock, piecing together what little they could understand. It became clear that this was not a random cosmic occurrence. The signal was intentional, and it seemed to be calling Earth itself. The team realized that this was not a threat but a request, a plea from somewhere far beyond the stars. Lena explained to the committee what she had discovered. "The signal responds to life," she said. "It's not just messages or codes. It reacts to the living patterns of our planet, our animals, our ecosystems, even the sounds we make. Somehow, it knows we are here." Her voice trembled slightly. Not from fear, but from awe. The committee listened in silence, realizing the enormity of what they were hearing. No one knew exactly why the signal chose Earth, or why it connected with life here in this way. Some scientists speculated that the planet itself had a unique set of frequencies, a natural symphony created by its ecosystems, and the signal recognized that. Others believed the signal came from a form of intelligence entirely different from anything humanity had encountered. One that understood life in ways humans could barely imagine. After days of analysis, the team made a bold decision. Humanity would respond. A mission would be launched into deep space, carrying a communication module capable of broadcasting Earth sounds, the songs of whales, the calls of birds, the rustling of forests, even the rhythmic vibrations of insects. The goal was not to conquer or fight, but to reach out. To show that life on Earth was listening and willing to help if it could. The starship chosen for the mission was the ESV Harmonic Dawn. It was equipped with advanced life support systems, propulsion capable of traveling faster than any previous craft, and the specially designed module for sending Earth's life-based frequencies into space. The crew was carefully selected, a team of scientists, engineers, and explorers ready to face the unknown. Among them, Lena would serve as the lead communicator, responsible for ensuring the resonance patterns remained true to life on Earth. As the launch day approached, excitement and tension filled every corner of the world. People gathered in cities, towns, and villages to watch the starship ascend. hoping that humanity could make a connection that went far beyond their understanding. Animals seemed to sense the importance of the moment as well. Birds flew in perfect formation over launch sites, and whales made songs that resonated even through satellite receivers, as if offering a farewell to those who left the planet for the first time in this way. The day of the launch arrived with a sky painted in colors of dawn. The harmonic dawn stood ready on the platform, sleek and silent, like a creature waiting to stretch its wings. Lena and the crew boarded, each taking their place, hearts pounding in anticipation. When the engines ignited, the roar of propulsion was accompanied by a soft, almost musical hum from the module. It was as though the ship itself was singing a song that had never been heard before. As the vessel left Earth's atmosphere, the world watched in awe. The signal had begun to respond even before they reached deep space, pulses of light and energy detected by Earth's telescopes. A reminder that the stars were listening. Lena stared out at the endless blackness, feeling a connection not just to the creatures of her planet, but to something far greater, something ancient and alive among the stars. Days turned into weeks as the harmonic dawn traveled farther from Earth. The module broadcasted carefully selected recordings of life on the planet. Whale songs were sent first, their deep notes echoing through space. Birds followed, their calls high and clear, weaving patterns that intertwined with the cosmic resonance. Forest sounds came next, the rustling of leaves, the babbling of streams, the whisper of winds. Even the rhythmic hum of insects was transmitted, a subtle pattern that somehow fit into the greater song. The crew noticed changes as they moved through a region of space that seemed to react to the module. Cosmic clouds shimmered with colors they could not name, pulsing in response to the frequencies of life. The energy readings fluctuated, showing patterns that grew stronger the longer the ship broadcasted. Lena and her team began to understand that the resonance was more than a signal. It was a guide. The patterns in the clouds pointed toward something, a path through the void that led to a distant region no telescope had ever fully explored. One night, as the crew rested in shifts, Lena remained at the module. Listening, she heard not just the echoes of Earth's creatures but something new, a faint, melodic harmony that did not originate from the recordings. It was subtle at first, a shimmer under the layers of sound, then it grew stronger. The crew soon realized that they were being answered. The stars were speaking back, using the language of life itself. Excitement rippled through the crew. They were not alone. The universe was not indifferent. Something, or someone, was reaching out, responding to the call of Earth's creatures. The idea filled them with wonder and a sense of responsibility. Humanity was part of a larger symphony, a song that stretched across space, and it was their duty to continue the melody. Despite the awe, challenges arose. The cosmic currents through which they traveled were unpredictable. Turbulent energy fields threatened to disrupt the module's signals. Equipment faltered under strange gravitational shifts, and small failures in the communication systems required constant attention. The crew worked tirelessly, driven by the knowledge that every note they sent into space mattered. Even minor errors could mean losing the chance to connect with whatever had called to them. During one particularly tense moment, a strange storm of shimmering particles surrounded the ship. The module detected unusual harmonics, patterns that did not match anything known. Lena realized it was another response, a kind of recognition. As the frequencies aligned, the particles formed shapes, faint outlines like living silhouettes made of light. The crew gasped. Whatever they were approaching, it was alive in a way that transcended normal definitions of life. The storm passed, leaving the ship unscathed, but the crew changed. They felt the weight of responsibility, the hum of the universe in their minds, and a deep sense of connection to the creatures back on Earth. Birds, whales, insects, even humans, each contributed to a song that now echoed in the vast expanse of space. It was not merely survival that drove them, but the power of cooperation, the resonance of life that reached beyond any single species, beyond any single planet, Days later, as the ship approached the source of the signal, the outlines of something extraordinary appeared against the blackness of space. Faint and glowing, the shapes seemed fragile, yet majestic. The resonance grew stronger with each broadcast from the module, confirming that the creatures or entities they were seeing were linked to the call they had received. The stars had not just heard Earth's cry. They had guided humanity to a place that needed help. Lena stood at the observation window, her hand pressed against the glass. She whispered to the crew, "They're waiting for us. Whatever they are, they know we are here. They trust us with something greater than ourselves." The silence that followed was heavy with awe and determination. Every member of the crew understood that their mission was no longer simply exploration. It was a chance to unite life across unimaginable distances, to answer a call that humanity had only just begun to comprehend. As the harmonic dawn moved closer to the glowing forms, the stars seemed to shimmer in recognition, their light pulsing in patterns that matched the resonance. The creatures, soft, luminous, and strange, hovered, fragile yet alive. It was a moment that no one would forget. Earth's living world had been heard, and now, in the vast emptiness of space, something waited to meet them. Humanity had taken its first step into a connection that went beyond technology, beyond knowledge, and beyond fear. The stars had answered their own cry, summoning Earth's creatures through the voices of whales, birds, forests, and insects. What lay ahead was unknown, yet filled with hope. The song of life was not confined to one planet. It could travel, resonate, and perhaps even save those who had sent the cry across the cosmos. Lena felt a shiver of excitement as the first direct interaction began. The beings responded not with words, not with aggression, but with patterns, movements, and harmonics that matched the module's broadcasts. A dialogue of life had begun, a conversation that transcended species, a symphony connecting Earth to the stars. Humanity had never known such wonder, and yet it was only the beginning. The ship drifted closer, the module transmitting every living sound from Earth, and the stars pulsed brighter. The universe was listening, and Earth's creatures were answering. A new chapter of connection, understanding, and cooperation was about to unfold, guided not by power or conquest, but by the pure resonance of life itself. The glow of the beings in front of the harmonic dawn was mesmerizing. They were unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Their bodies seemed made of light and energy, flowing like liquid stars, shifting in patterns that hinted at intelligence and emotion. They moved with a gentle rhythm, hovering without sound, and yet their presence was profoundly felt by every crew member. Lena Harrow stared in awe, realizing that the signal had not been a random call. These beings were alive, and they had summoned Earth's creatures for a reason. The first moments were tense. The crew did not know how to communicate, and the beings, the chorus-born, as they would come to be called, appeared cautious, but not hostile. Their glow pulsed in response to the earth sounds emitted by the module. Whale songs, forest winds, bird calls, even the low hum of insects seemed to resonate with them. Slowly, patterns of light shifted in response, forming something akin to a language. Lena, drawing on her knowledge of harmonic resonance, began to match frequencies, modulating the module to align with the chorus-born's pulsing patterns. A wave of understanding began to emerge. The chorus-born were in distress. Their light flickered weakly, as though they were fading. Lena realized that their energy field was collapsing. They had once protected a region of space, a vast stretch of cosmic phenomena, maintaining balance in a system unknown to humanity. But a disturbance, possibly a natural collapse of their energy network, had left them weak, unable to stabilize themselves. They had called to Earth because life on this planet carried frequencies capable of repairing what was lost. The revelation stunned the crew. Humanity, with its forests, oceans, and creatures, was uniquely positioned to help beings across the stars. The very act of life on Earth, the songs of whales, the flight of birds, the movement of insects had power beyond imagination. Lena felt a surge of pride and responsibility. This mission was no longer just about exploration. It was about preserving life, not only on Earth, but in a region of space far beyond human understanding. The crew spent days trying to synchronize the module with the Chorusborn's fluctuating signals. The process was delicate. A single mismatch in frequency could destabilize the energy field further. The ship's systems hummed in unison with the living sounds transmitted from Earth, creating a symphony of technology and nature. Crew members worked in shifts, carefully monitoring the Chorusborn's responses, adjusting the amplitude and rhythm of each signal. Lena often stayed longer than anyone else, listening to the faint harmonic pulses, feeling the invisible threads that connected Earth to these distant beings. During this time, the Chorusborn began to reveal more of their form. Their bodies were transparent yet radiant, shaped like flowing ribbons of light. Patterns of colors shifted across their forms, not randomly, but with intention. Like a visual language. Occasionally, they would move closer to the module, as though absorbing the energy from the transmissions. Their glow grew brighter for a brief moment, then dimmed, suggesting that the energy was being partially restored, but still insufficient. One evening, Lena noticed a subtle difference. A sequence of pulses repeated across the Chorusborn, almost like a heartbeat. She carefully modulated the module to mimic the rhythm, adding Earth's own harmonic signatures in precise timing. Slowly, the glow stabilized. The Chorusborn responded with a gentle wave of light that spread across the ship's interior, bathing the crew in warm illumination. It was the first clear sign that their efforts were working. Excitement rippled through the crew. But they knew the task was far from complete. The energy field they were trying to restore spanned a vast region of space, a complex network of luminous currents and cosmic pathways. To fully repair it, the module would need to broadcast Earth's living frequencies on a massive scale, amplified through the ship's systems and carefully guided by the Chorusborn. Each animal sound, each rhythm of life on Earth, became a critical piece in a delicate cosmic puzzle. As they prepared for the next phase, the crew realized that they were entering uncharted territory. The Chorusborn were teaching them a new kind of science, one where life itself was a source of energy, a force that could interact with the universe in ways previously unimaginable. The ship became a laboratory of living sounds, and the crew learned to treat each sound, each signal, with reverence. They were not commanding the Chorusborn or forcing a solution. They were collaborating, listening, and adjusting. A partnership built on harmony. Days passed, and progress was steady but slow. The module sent recordings of whales first, their deep calls resonating with long-range energy currents. Birds followed, their songs weaving through the cosmic field like threads of light. Forest sounds added texture and complexity. The rustle of leaves, the gentle flow of water, even the hum of insects. Every sound was essential, every pattern contributing to the restoration of the Chorusborn's energy field. One morning, a new phenomenon appeared. Streams of light, previously faint and scattered, began to concentrate into coherent forms, following the patterns of the earthly sounds. The Chorusborn moved within these streams, their bodies flowing along the currents, absorbing energy and distributing it across the field. The crew realized that the earthly frequencies were acting like keys, unlocking pathways that allowed the Chorusborn's energy to flow freely. Lena felt a mix of awe and responsibility. Earth's creatures had been summoned for a purpose far beyond survival, far beyond the familiar bounds of their own planet. The whales, birds, insects, and even humans had become part of a larger, universal symphony. It was a demonstration of how life itself could shape the cosmos, how the simple existence of a planet could ripple across space and influence beings light years away. Despite the beauty of the moment, challenges remained. The energy field was fragile, and the synchronization had to be perfect. Small disruptions caused instability, and the crew worked tirelessly, adjusting frequencies, monitoring pulses, and ensuring that each transmission from Earth aligned perfectly with the Chorusborn's energy. There were moments of anxiety when the glow dimmed unexpectedly, or when a signal failed to propagate. Each setback was met with determination, the crew learning and adapting with each attempt. In one critical sequence, Lena realized that the insect's rhythmic hums, previously considered minor, were essential to maintaining stability. She instructed the module to include subtle insect frequencies, their tiny vibrations weaving a layer of complexity that the Chorusborn had been missing. When the sequence completed, the energy field responded dramatically. The glowing currents stabilized, flowing like rivers of light, and the Chorusborn pulsed with renewed strength. The crew cheered quietly, aware that they were witnessing the first true signs of success. As the days turned into weeks, the Chorusborn began to move with more confidence, their forms no longer flickering but steady, radiant, and graceful. The cosmic clouds that had initially reacted to the earthly sounds now shimmered consistently, indicating that the energy field was returning to balance. The crew felt a profound sense of connection not just with the Chorusborn, but with Earth itself, with the whales, birds, forests, and insects that had contributed to this extraordinary achievement. During one particularly quiet moment, Lena observed the Chorusborn forming complex patterns in the energy field. The shapes resembled spirals, waves, and arcs, moving in perfect harmony with the earthly frequencies. It was a form of communication, a visual symphony that expressed gratitude, recognition, and hope. Lena realized that the beings were not just being restored, they were teaching humanity a new language, one based on resonance, rhythm, and the fundamental patterns of life. The crew worked tirelessly to ensure that the harmonics remained synchronized. They broadcasted human music alongside natural sounds, careful to select pieces that complemented the frequencies already in place. Simple melodies, rhythms, and harmonies enhanced the natural patterns, adding layers of resonance that strengthened the Chorusborn's energy. It was a collaboration across species, across worlds, a proof that life itself could be a bridge to the cosmos. As the energy field stabilized, a new opportunity emerged. The Chorusborn began guiding the harmonic dawn through regions of space previously unreachable due to instability. Pathways opened, lit by the glowing currents, forming a network of cosmic highways that connected distant areas of the galaxy. The crew realized that the mission had not only saved the Chorusborn but also discovered safe routes through unknown space. A gift of knowledge and exploration. Lena felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Humanity had answered a cosmic call, not with force or technology alone, but with life, sound, and harmony. The creatures of Earth had been essential partners, their presence and patterns resonating across unimaginable distances to restore a being of light. The mission had demonstrated that even the smallest forms of life, whales, birds, insects, held power far beyond human understanding, a reminder that every living thing mattered. As the harmonic dawn prepared for the final phase of restoration, the Chorusborn pulsed brighter than ever. Their forms, once fragile and dim, now radiated a steady, vibrant light that illuminated the ship's interior. The crew transmitted one last series of signals, combining every sound from Earth in a grand symphony. The energy field responded fully, flowing like liquid light across space, stabilizing the Chorusborn and creating a network of harmony that stretched farther than anyone could measure. Lena realized that humanity had done more than save the Chorusborn. They had forged a connection between worlds, demonstrating that cooperation, empathy, and the resonance of life itself could achieve what technology alone could not. The mission had begun with a signal, a cry across the stars, and it had grown into a partnership that bound Earth and the Chorusborn together in a symphony of existence. When the final pulses faded, the Chorusborn moved around the harmonic dawn in patterns of celebration. Their light shimmered in ways that spoke of gratitude, recognition, and hope for the future. Lena and the crew knew that this was not the end but the beginning. Humanity had learned that life itself could reach across the cosmos, that every song, every call, and every living rhythm held power beyond imagination. The mission had shown that the universe was not silent. It listened. It responded. And when life called, the stars themselves would answer. Humanity had become part of a larger, living network, a symphony that stretched across space and time, connecting worlds in ways that no one had ever imagined. The journey ahead would be long, but the path was clear. With cooperation, understanding, and respect for the rhythms of life, anything was possible. The crew looked out at the glowing chorusborn, their forms steady and radiant, and understood that Earth had been heard. The call had been answered, and a bond had been forged that would echo through the stars. Humanity's place in the cosmos was no longer distant or passive. It was active, vital, and resonant. The mission had succeeded, and yet, it had also revealed that this was only the beginning of a much larger story. The harmonic dawn would continue to explore, to learn, and to transmit the sounds of Earth. But it would always carry the memory of the chorusborn, and the knowledge that the universe responded to life's song. The stars had summoned Earth's creatures, and together, they had created something extraordinary, a harmony that would resonate across the cosmos for generations to come. The harmonic dawn drifted through the glowing currents of space, carrying the living song of Earth like a fragile treasure. The chorusborn moved around the ship, their radiant forms now steady, reflecting the restoration of their energy. Yet, the task was not complete. The cosmic network they protected remained vast, delicate, and unpredictable. Every note, every rhythm, from Earth, had to be aligned perfectly to stabilize the remaining sections of the field. The crew worked tirelessly, understanding that the smallest lapse could unravel weeks of effort. Lena Harrow monitored the harmonics with focused intensity. Each pulse of light, each vibration of the module, represented not just the chorusborn, but life itself reaching across the universe. Whale songs resonated in long waves that interlaced with the currents of space, while birdsong added higher harmonics, weaving through the energy with delicate precision. Forest sounds provided texture and grounding, while the rhythmic hums of insects filled in subtle patterns that could not be replicated by technology alone. Humanity's life was the key, and the crew felt the weight of that responsibility in every heartbeat. The process began slowly. The module transmitted Earth's living symphony into the currents, and the chorusborn absorbed the energy, their glow brightening in response. At first, the currents shifted tentatively, flowing unevenly, as if unsure how to stabilize. Lena adjusted frequencies, carefully matching the pulses of whales to the subtle flickers of light in the chorusborn. Birds' calls were layered on top, weaving a melody that traveled farther than any human had imagined. The cosmic network began to respond. Faint streams of energy flowing smoothly for the first time. It was breathtaking to witness. Streams of light, previously chaotic and erratic, now moved like rivers of glass, reflecting the colors of the chorusborn as they traveled. The creatures danced within the currents, their forms flowing and expanding, as though learning to move with renewed confidence. Lena realized that the earthly frequencies were doing more than restoring energy. They were teaching the chorusborn to synchronize with the cosmos once again. Humanity had become a mentor, using the vibrations of life to guide an ancient and alien intelligence. The crew worked in shifts, ensuring continuous transmission. Each member felt a mixture of awe, pride, and exhaustion. They had become part of a universal orchestra, their actions creating ripples that could be seen and felt across unimaginable distances. Even minor adjustments required precision, but with each improvement, the currents grew more stable, and the chorusborn's glow became steady, illuminating the ship with a warmth that felt almost like sunlight. One moment of crisis nearly disrupted the effort. A region of the energy field remained unstable, with currents twisting unpredictably, resisting the harmonics of Earth's life. Lena realized that a crucial piece was missing. The module had been transmitting only the largest, most obvious frequencies: whales, birds, forests, but it had overlooked subtle, almost invisible rhythms. The quiet vibrations of small creatures, the gentle pulse of rivers, the whisper of wind through grasslands. These tiny details were essential to the harmony. The crew quickly gathered recordings from Earth, expanding the module's range to include these subtle frequencies: insects, frogs, distant echoes of rainfall. The hum of small mammals, all were transmitted simultaneously, forming a complex tapestry of sound. As the signals reached the unstable region, the currents began to shift. Slowly, the chaotic twists unraveled, and the flow of energy aligned with the broader network. The glow of the chorusborn intensified, steady and brilliant, confirming that every life on Earth mattered. Lena felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The mission had begun with a call across the stars, a cry for help. And humanity had answered not with weapons or technology alone, but with the living essence of their planet. Every animal, every plant, every ecosystem had played a role in saving a being of immense cosmic importance. It was a lesson in humility and cooperation, a reminder that life itself held power far beyond human comprehension. As the days passed, the harmonic dawn continued transmitting Earth's frequencies, expanding the restoration across the remaining parts of the cosmic network. The chorusborn moved gracefully through the currents, their light now strong, stable, and radiant. The ship's crew watched in silent awe as the energy field transformed from fragile streams into a coherent, vibrant system, pulsing with life and light. It was a visual symphony, a testament to the connection between worlds. At last, the final sequence of harmonics was ready. Lena and the crew prepared to transmit the complete symphony, combining every frequency, every rhythm, and every sound Earth could provide. Whale songs formed the foundation, their deep notes resonating through the network. Bird song layered above, creating intricate patterns. Forests and rivers added texture, and the subtle hums of insects and small animals filled in the smallest gaps. Even simple human music, carefully chosen for its harmony, was included, completing the cosmic tapestry. When the transmission began, the effect was immediate and extraordinary. The energy currents stabilized completely, flowing smoothly and brightly through space. The chorusborn radiated light that reflected off the currents like 1,000 suns, their forms moving with a grace that was almost musical. Streams of energy intertwined, creating pathways across the cosmos, each pulse a testament to the living network that humanity had helped restore. The crew could feel the power of the connection. It was not just light and energy. It was understanding, recognition, and unity. Earth's creatures had reached across the void, their voices and rhythms bringing balance to a system that had been collapsing. The chorusborn responded with patterns of light that conveyed gratitude and recognition. Though they had no words, their message was clear. Humanity had succeeded, and together, they had created something extraordinary. The chorusborn then began to guide the harmonic dawn through the newly stabilized energy pathways. These routes, previously dangerous and unpredictable, now shimmered with light, showing safe passages through the cosmos. The crew realized the significance of this gift. Humanity had not only restored an ancient intelligence, but had also gained knowledge of a vast network of cosmic pathways, routes that could be used for exploration, trade, or communication. In the future, the universe had expanded, and Earth now had a place within it. Lena felt a mixture of awe and humility. Humanity's place in the cosmos was no longer distant or passive. The living world, the animals, plants, and humans themselves had proven that life was a force capable of influencing the universe. The mission had shown that technology alone was not enough. It was the resonance of life that held power. And Earth had demonstrated it in a way that would echo across the stars for generations. As the harmonic dawn prepared to return to Earth, the chorusborn offered one final gesture. They formed intricate patterns in the energy currents, creating a visual message that combined light, color, and rhythm. It was a gift of knowledge, showing pathways through the galaxy and new ways to interact with energy systems that respected life and harmony. The crew understood that this was not just a map or a tool, it was a philosophy, a way of understanding the universe that emphasized balance, cooperation, and respect for all forms of life. The return journey was quiet, but filled with wonder. The crew reflected on what they had accomplished, the extraordinary connection they had witnessed, and the responsibility that came with it. Earth's creatures had been the key to saving the chorusborn, and humanity had learned that even the smallest life could have cosmic significance. It was a lesson that would not be forgotten. When the harmonic dawn finally approached Earth, the world watched in anticipation. Animals and humans alike seemed to sense the importance of the moment. Birds flew in precise formations, whales sang songs that could be heard even through satellite systems, and forests and rivers seemed to pulse with life. Humanity had made a connection that went far beyond understanding, and now the living world was returning home, its role in the universe affirmed. As the ship entered Earth's orbit, Lena and the crew transmitted one final sequence, a harmonic echo of the chorusborn's light and the combined sounds of Earth. The effect was subtle but profound. The resonance remained, a reminder that life on this planet was connected to something far greater. People on Earth felt a strange calm, a sense of unity with their surroundings, as if the planet itself had been recognized and thanked by the universe. The chorusborn, now fully restored and radiant, lingered briefly at the edge of Earth's orbit, shimmering in patterns of light that conveyed farewell and hope. They would remain in the cosmos, watching, guiding, and protecting. But they had formed a lasting bond with humanity. The stars had answered Earth's call, and Earth had answered theirs. Lena looked out at the glowing forms, her heart full. Humanity had witnessed something extraordinary, something that would shape the future. The mission had proven that cooperation, empathy, and the resonance of life itself could achieve what technology alone could not. Every animal, every plant, every human contribution mattered. The universe was listening, and Earth had made its voice heard. As the harmonic dawn descended toward the planet, the crew felt a quiet joy. They had answered a cry from the stars, restored a cosmic energy field, and formed a bond between worlds. The mission had begun with uncertainty and awe, but it had ended in triumph, showing that life, in all its forms, was the most powerful force in the universe. When the ship landed, humanity welcomed its explorers with awe and curiosity. Scientists, engineers, and citizens gathered to hear the story. But even as they listened, they understood that the true story was not just of the crew or the technology, it was of Earth itself. The whales, birds, forests, and insects had traveled across space in spirit, their frequencies sustaining a being of light far beyond their planet. Humanity had learned that every life was important, that even the smallest creatures could shape the cosmos. Lena stepped out of the ship and looked at the sky. The stars seemed brighter, more alive, as if acknowledging the success of the mission. The chorusborn were gone, returning to their cosmic duties, but their gift remained. Humanity now had knowledge of energy pathways, cosmic networks, and, most importantly, the realization that life itself was a force capable of shaping the universe. The mission would be remembered, not as an adventure or a triumph of technology, but as proof that cooperation, harmony, and life's resonance could reach across the stars. The living world had answered a cosmic call, and the stars had responded in turn. Humanity's place in the universe was no longer distant or passive. It was active, vital, and deeply connected to the rhythms of life that spanned planets and galaxies. In the quiet that followed, as the world returned to normal, Earth itself seemed to hum with a subtle, harmonious vibration, a reminder that life's song had traveled far and wide, creating bonds that no one had ever imagined. The mission had shown that the universe was alive, listening, and willing to respond, and that humanity, through its living world, was now part of a cosmic symphony that would echo for generations to come. The stars had heard the cry, and humanity, guided by the creatures of Earth, had answered. The song of life continued, now stronger, resonant, and eternal.